Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you a really easy craft that's also inexpensive and very beautiful. We are going to layer snowflakes. Now I'm sure you've all seen these packages of snowflakes at the stores during the Christmas season, the real inexpensive ones. You can get them in packages of 10 or 20, it just depends on where you're buying it. And these little white snowflakes, I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, I believe, last year. And so I'm using this. Now you can see that this clear one has the same pattern, same design as the white one. However, because it's clear, it will give you different results when we start glittering them. And I did pick this up at the Dollar Tree about a week ago, and they came in packages of, I believe, 10, so you might look for that. And then last year at the Dollar Tree I picked these up in packages of 5, I believe, for $1. But look around at your Walmart and other stores where they have ornaments, and check out the cheaper ornaments, and get them in different patterns if you'd like, or sizes, and layering them will be very pretty. And like I said, because the one is translucent and one is not, it'll give you different effects. Now the gold one, I'm going to use this as the bottom piece, the background, and I'm not going to do anything to this. So excuse me. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut off the little strings that drive me crazy because they snag on the snowflakes. Okay. And I'm going to start with a white one, I believe. And for that, you will need some triple thick. Okay, and I do have a link to this on my blog in case you are unable to find it in the stores near you. Just click on this project and it will be right there. So with this bottom piece, I think I'm going to start out by making some pink glitter. So I'm just going to shake this in, and as a matter of fact, I think I might want to pour a little bit of this in. And this is just a fine glitter. It's kind of a pastel pink. It looks darker than it actually shows up. And this is by Recollections, and it's called Blush. Okay? But like I said, you can use something equivalent. And same with this. I'm using Recollections Ultra Fine Glitter in Glitz. So I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit of that in, like so. And just one moment, the trash truck is outside and my window's open. Okay, sorry about that. So we have our ultra fine pastel pink glitter and our ultra fine iridescent white glitter. So now I'm going to put in these little pink jumbo glitter pieces, and this came from Walmart. It's ultra fine pink on one side and jumbo glitter in pink on the other. And I will tell you, with this ultra fine glitter, this is actually a little too light. I have to put a ton of this ultra fine glitter into my projects in order for it to show up. So that's just a little tip there, but I do love the pink. So I'm going to shake that in, like that. And then of course I have to use my clear German glass glitter in the 70 grit. So I'll put a little spoonful of that in, just a little bit. And I do have the link to this where you can purchase this on my blog. This is from Sugar Camp Cottage, and Debbie owns the store on eBay. She's a very nice lady. Okay, I'm going to mix this up. And I think this looks pretty good the way it is. So now I'm going to take my makeup brush from the Dollar Tree and my triple thick. And I'm going to be quite generous when putting this on. And normally I wouldn't just dip directly out of the jar and cover this with sparkles on it, because the sparkles on the snowflake might get into this jar, but I'm running towards the bottom and I'm sure I'll use it up today, so I don't mind if I get a few glittery sparkles in there. I have a new bottle on the way. Alright, so let me move this down a little bit. Hold on so you can see. Okay. Alright, so now I'm just going to sprinkle this over the top. Actually, the whole snowflake, and pay special attention to the stems of the snowflake, because that's really what you're going to see a lot of, is just the stem part when you go to layer it. Yes, do the middle, but like I said, focus on the stems. Okay, now I'm going to take my popsicle stick and I'm going to press this down so it will help the glitter to stick, and also it'll press flat any of those glass shards from the German glass glitter. Okay, so I'm going to grab a toothpick real quick. I'm going to lift this up. Okay, and if you have any extra, you can use it on the next one, but I'm just making sure that I have all these tips covered. Every little part covered. And when this dries, it'll be really beautiful, but right now it has to dry. And you might want to go in with your toothpick and kind of push in any little fuzzies that might be hanging over the edges. I think this is actually pretty good, but okay. Alright, so I'm going to allow this to dry, most likely overnight, because I think it needs at least that before we start our actual layering. Okay, so now we're going to do the same thing on the clear snowflake, only I'm going to make that a lilac mix, or more of an orchid mix, I think. Okay, so just a moment, alright? Okay, so here we go with our orchid mix, and this is by Recollections. It's ultra fine, and it is called Orchid. So I'm going to put a little bit of that in here, like that. And you can use, like I said, any equivalent glitter that you can find if you can't find this particular one. Alright, and then I'm going to add some of this ultra fine glitter called Glitz. Give it just a little bit of a sprinkle here. And then I'll be adding this pink jumbo glitter And if you can't find the pink jumbo glitter, which I don't think you'd have difficulty finding this, I've even seen the jumbo glitter at Michael's. But if you can't find it, you can use the crystal quartz jumbo glitter, which is a white glitter that they carry at Walmart. It's a white jumbo glitter, I should say. But I really like this pink. Okay, so I have some of that mixed in there. And now, some of the German glass glitter in here. I'm going to use a little spoonful of that. And mix it up. Okay, it's really pretty. Alright, and so now I'm going to take my makeup brush. Somebody asked me how I wash these, and if you're wanting to know, I just use plain warm water and hand soap. That's it, and it comes off so easily, this triple thick. And then I just kind of squeeze the water out like this and just let it dry, and it always goes back. The bristles do. I love these brushes. I've never had any of these bristles fall out. These are really tough makeup brushes, and for $1, I mean, I think they're tougher than the regular paint brushes. So, a little bit of info there for you. Alright, so I'm doing the same thing. Oops, got a little too crazy there. And I'm just painting this triple thick on here. I'm putting quite a bit on, paying special attention to the stems. And yeah, this is a little messy, but it's really worth the results, the end results. If you don't like mess, you can always wear the gloves. Okay. So now I'm just gonna and this I think will be really pretty by the time we're finished. Okay, so now you're going to go in with your popsicle stick and press all of this in. And any excess you have left over from the glitter, you can just use it on your next snowflake. Okay, so that's pressed in. And so now I'm going to take another toothpick. And we're going to lift this up like so. Now I'm not going to shake it. I'm not going to shake it. I'm just going to turn it over one time. Okay. So this looks pretty good, actually. I might want to dip this one in here like that. Alright. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to grab another toothpick because that one's kind of goopy. And just going to kind of push any little fuzzies in that I might see. Actually looks pretty good, I think. Okay, so now I'm going to allow this to dry, and I might cover that tip though. That's kind of sticking out there, so let me do that. Let me put a little dab of triple thick on that and then just tip it over into the glitter. I think it should be fine. Yeah. And it doesn't have to be perfect because it actually looks kind of pretty when there's some variation of the colors on the snowflake. But I'm going to allow this to dry, and when it does, then I will be back. Okay, so as you can see, these have hardened completely and dried, and the glitter is on there, very nice. I just took a soft makeup brush and gently brushed any excess glitter that might have been on here. So we're going to set this aside for a moment because there's a couple of other things that we have to do. Now the first thing is you're going to have to choose a filigree connector, a round filigree connector of some sort, and you can use them as small as 32 millimeters or as large as 45 millimeters. Even 47 would work. Now I do have a resource for you. I've used this gal multiple times. She has an Etsy store called Baubles of Fun, and she has all these metal filigree stampings is what she calls them. And I'll make sure to give you her link when you click on my blog. Just click on the picture of the ornament and the page will open up and her link will be right there. Okay, so I think I'm going to use this one today. So I'm going to be using this Folk Art Metallic Amethyst paint, acrylic paint. So I'm going to shake it up. And I'm just going to put a little here on my finger, like that. And just kind of thin it out a little, and then just paint right over it, like this. I might need a little more. You're probably wondering why I'm not using a brush. It's because I kind of want to work the paint in. Make sure you get the edges. That's important. Just like that. And a little more. See, besides that, it gives me an excuse to play with the paint. Okay. There we go. So now I'm just going to allow this to dry thoroughly, and then I'm going to come back in and put some sort of gloss on it, whether it be triple thick or the Mod Podge super gloss one coat finish. So you can use either one, but I'm going to allow this to dry thoroughly, and then I'll be back. Okay, so this actually dried very quickly. I put this in front of my tabletop fan to speed up the process. Now you can use a couple of different glosses if you want. You can use the Mod Podge Super Gloss. This is a one coat gloss finish. It's different from the regular Mod Podge. This dries like clear glass. And you can also use the triple thick to put on top of this if you would like. So I think I'm just going to do that. I'm going to use the triple thick. And I'm going to put this on. Just kind of rub it on the top. It doesn't have to be super thick. Just kind of work it in with your fingers. Like so. Okay. Now I'm going to take a little dab of this ultra fine glitter in Glitz, and this is an iridescent glitter. And I'm not going to put this on heavy at all. I'm just going to barely sprinkle the top a little at a time. And just enough to give it a little tiny bit of glitz. You see it? How nice and shiny that is. It's kind of a rainbow effect. I don't know if you can see it on camera. So now I'm going to also allow this to dry in front of my tabletop fan, and then we'll be back. Okay, so as you can see, this is completely dried. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to do something that may seem a little out of order to you, but believe me, there's a reason for it. Now, when I look at my snowflakes, I have to decide how I'm going to stack these. And so of course I'm using the gold for the bottom base part, but then I want to put the darker color next, okay? The next darkest color, I should say. So if you look at the traditional snowflakes, you can see that there's little holes like this in between, and that's perfect for you to string some ribbon through it. Now this is the 1/4 inch organza ribbon. It's very strong, that I get from the Fire Mountain Gems website, and this is this organza ribbon is meant for necklaces. That's why it's strong like this. So I'm just going to slip a skinny piece of wire through here and bend the wire in half, make a kind of a makeshift needle like that. And then I'm just going to find any old hole, pull it through, and then take the needle off, and then continue pulling one end through like that. Okay, so you have this to make a loop on and hang, but I'm not going to tie it off yet, okay? But I just want to do this part first. Okay. So what you're going to do next is you're going to look at these little sprays right here, and you're going to want to put those little sprays in between these two stems here, these two gold stems, okay? So I'm going to kind of line it up to get an idea of where I want to put this. And don't worry about where this ribbon is. That won't be an issue once this is done. Okay, so I want it probably about here. I'm going to take some E6000 and I'm going to squirt it right here on the back part, just in the middle, and I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue, and that's just so it will hold when I put this on. I'm going to make sure that it's right in the middle, like that. And then I'm just going to come in and press this down, making sure everything is exactly where I want it. Okay. Alright. I can feel that that's starting to grab. And the reason why we put the hot glue on top of that is it gives us the ability to pick this up and work with this a little bit while the E6000 is drying. Because if we didn't put the hot glue on, we'd have to wait quite a while for the E6000 to dry before we could continue. Now, it's nothing you can manhandle, but you can pick it up like that. Okay. So the next piece I'm going to put on is this pink one, because you want the lighter shade to be on the top. And I'm going to look at the little sprays right here, and I'm going to try to position them in between here. So I'm going to get a rough idea of where I want this. about like that. And you can see that a lot of the purple is showing through in the background. It's still very pretty. And I'm going to place some hot glue on the back of the pink snowflake. And then, let's see, where did it go? Oh, hot glue. I'm going to place this right here. I'm just going to leave it like that and press it down. Okay. And then lastly, we're going to put on the embellishment in the middle. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is glue this little filigree right here in the middle. So I'm going to take some E6000 and put just a little bit here on the back. Just kind of spread it around here in the middle part. And then I'm just going to press this down here, right in the middle. Make sure it's not off center, like that. Then I'm going to take one of these little bling pieces, and I bought these through a certain seller on eBay. It was 10 for $3.70 something, and that was with shipping too. And I'll make sure to put the seller's link on my blog as well, in the same place as I'm going to put the Baubles of Fun store. So I'm just going to put a blob of the E6000 in the middle. And I'm just going to set it down right here. Oops, I gotta put a little hot glue with that. Hold on. Okay, let's try that again. Put a little more of that E6000 and then some hot glue on the top, just so it'll hold and not slide around as it's drying. Hold it just like that. Make sure it's right in the center there. Put the lid on this. Okay. All right. So now while this is drying, I'll go ahead and put this in front of my tabletop and kind of speed up the process. And as you can see, the ribbon is in the middle, so it looks really nice. And it will also hold nicely, see? Just like that. So I'm going to place this, like I said, in front of my tabletop bed, and then we'll be back. Okay, so I knew if I looked long enough and hard enough at this that I would end up putting more bling on it. So I decided to use the big package of these little rhinestone bling pieces that I bought at Walmart in the big huge sheet. And I think these are, let's see, should say what size they are, 9mm. Okay, so I'm just going to set this aside here for a moment. And I'm going to place one little rhinestone on each one of these stems here, right in the middle, like that. Okay. And I'm using the Gorilla Glue glue sticks. This particular glue gun. Okay. And place it right here. And then right here. Yeah, see, that really blings it up. And right here. This is such a good deal too from Walmart. Okay, like that. And then the last one would be here. Making sure those little plastic pieces from the adhesive are not sticking out on the sides. Don't want that. And then I'll place that right here. Okay. Now look what a huge difference that makes. Just that little bit of added bling. Okay, so I tied off the ribbon and I just put a little knot and then I cut it at the top right here. And one thing I like about this organza is that it does not fray when you cut it, so that's nice. So I think it turned out really lovely, and this wasn't difficult at all. The only thing that you need to remember is when you're making the snowflake to make sure the lighter color snowflake is always on top and the darker color snowflake is always at the bottom, or in the middle, I should say. So with that said, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you give it a try. You take care of yourself, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.